Time to get real, reality TV aficionados. Welcome to the Georgio Says podcast. I'm your host, the one and only Georgio Takanakis, and I'm here serving you the juiciest updates on all your favorite reality shows weekly, as well as the hottest pop culture trends, and even exclusive interviews that will leave you wanting more. This podcast will keep you on the edge of your seat. We definitely need to talk about this. The Georgio Says podcast starts now.
Elevate your style and confidence with Taylor. They're on a mission to empower you to be your best self every day without the fuss over what to wear. Dive into curated, high-quality fashion rentals and say goodbye to clothing clutter. Own less, enjoy more, and play a part in fostering sustainable fashion and reducing waste. Unlock a world of style and simplicity. Use my special promo code Georgio Says for an exclusive 25% off your first month. Join Taylor.style today and make every connection count with your revitalized confidence and style. All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome to another episode of Georgio Says the podcast. Happy Tuesday. It's still raining where I'm at. So if that could stop sometime soon, that would be wonderful, because all it makes me want to do is eat carbs and lay in bed, which I cannot do because that just doesn't work for the list of things that I have to get done. Nonetheless, listen, today's episode is going to be pretty short because we didn't have any episodes of anything, obviously, that I'm recapping today, but I did get some more insight into what went down, or a little bit more detail around what happened in regards to Jennifer Aydin and Danielle's physical altercation. We do know now that they both are on pause until, I guess, the powers that be decide what they will do and how they move forward from this. But before I get into that, I did see a TMZ article that came out that said something to the regards of Kim is asking the judge to dismiss Kroy's request for divorce because they're still banging, apparently. And she's like, well, hold on a second. No. We're not getting divorced because we're still sleeping together. He's still getting up in this. So, Judge, I'm going to need you to throw that divorce request out the window because it's null and void. We also know that we've been pretty much hearing that the producers for Real Housewives of Atlanta have pretty much seen everything that's playing out, as we all have, and they said no thank you. So if that's not some bullshit, I don't know what is. Now, it is confirmed that Kim is doing the Surreal Life on MTV, so there's a check there. And I believe Kroy was also offered like 6 figures to come do like one of those Magic Mike type shows in Vegas. So I don't know. I'm a bit confused as to what the dynamic of their relationship actually is, because he seems like he wants out, but then she's laughing it off or doing things like this TMZ article where she's like, no, we're still sleeping together. We're not getting divorced. You're not going anywhere, Kroy. I mean, that's how it feels. It feels like he's trapped. I know he's not, but it feels that way a little bit, especially when she says stuff like that. I mean, honestly, like, come on. I'm sure there's a lot of couples that are headed for divorce that are still sexually attracted to each other and can still like sleep with each other. I'm not saying it's healthy to do that if you're trying to move on, but I'm saying I'm sure it happens. I don't think that means that the relationship is on its way to being back on track. If anything, it's probably diluting the decision making, the sex. So let's practice celibacy until we get our ducks in a row, at least with the financial part of it. I don't know. Who am I? But yeah, I mean, listen, if Kim's not coming back to Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's for a good reason. I don't want to see that story play out on TV. I don't want to hear about it. I've seen enough play out in the media. And quite frankly, I still feel like this is her way of trying to get attention from some network, some production company. So Bravo's like, no, you can't come back to Real Housewives of Atlanta. Then she's like, well, fine. Well, I got this Surreal Life on MTV. Kroy might go become a stripper in Vegas. So WeTV, Oxygen Network, what other one? VH1, any of y'all interested in Don't Be Tardy? I mean, because honestly, I don't know what she's going to do. They need to sell the house. I think that's pretty much been their main issue. I think had they had sold that house years ago when it was starting to become too much, I think they would have been able to recoup a lot quicker and it would have not been so public. But it's sounding like the house is going back on the path of foreclosure. And no, I will not be making any more phone calls. Shout out to you guys who remember when I called the law firm to figure out if her house was in fact going to be auctioned off, which it wasn't. But this time, I don't think she's going to be as lucky because it doesn't seem like they're getting anywhere. So that's sad. I mean, it's sad for the young ones. I think the older ones are old enough. They've been exposed to their mom's behavior at this point. Not to say that they're not traumatized in their own way, but I think the little ones are more impacted because they don't quite understand what all of this is, I'm sure. I mean, I can imagine. It's probably really confusing. Your mom and dad are like not in a good place. And listen, let's not be dumb here. Let's not pretend like they're not having it, like these blowout fights in front of the kids where they can hear it, the little ones. Let's not put them in the responsible adults basket and think that, oh, the kids are here, we're not going to do this right now. I don't buy that. And if you remember, there was one 911 call where the kids are in the background. They're crying, they're screaming. She's telling them why the police are coming. It's wild. She's wild. But see, I think when it's that much drama that plays out, it's too much spilled information. So what's the point of documenting it for a TV show? The point would have been there's a lot of stories surrounding Kim and Kroy's marriage. There's a lot of things surrounding their house and the foreclosure and all the rumors around that. But you guys took all this time the last few months to basically give every piece of information to us via the media for a paycheck. So why would a production company be interested in your story at this point? Or why would they want to bring you back on a show? Because you already told everybody what it is. So how are they going to, what's the point? You know, listen, I don't know if, in fact, Kim Zolciak will admit she has a problem with how she spends money, or if she does, in fact, have a gambling problem, whatever. Until she rectifies whatever that issue is, it doesn't matter how much money she brings in, she will never have it. Because her mindset is she's looking for more. She's always been that way, and you know, from my side of things, I think that when you are aspiring for things in your life, that is totally great, and you should want to have those nice things that you work hard for or that you aspire to achieve. But at the same time, you've got to be grateful for where you landed at this very moment, because that's how you get to the next level. So you have to be like, each step you take, you got to stop and say, wow. You got to take a minute. You got to look around and say, wow, look how far I've come up. Are you at the top yet? No. Are you mad you're not at the top yet? Maybe sometimes you might get tired as you keep walking, but eventually it will all be worth it, because the views, everything, the air, all of it will be that much better. And I think in her position, she never stopped and was grateful for everything that she accumulated or had based on the platform she was on or things that were probably given to her. You know, she didn't stop and really take that in and appreciate those things and continued to want more and more and more and more. And unfortunately, that doesn't get you more. That gets you more of less in the long run. So that's just my opinion on it. I do, on a serious note, really hope that they are going to get some sort of family counseling, at least for how they would, how the kids are processing. I can't imagine what that must be like. I'm sure like they're uber confused. And look, at first I was feeling a little sorry for Kroy, but like at the same time, it's like, come on, man, like what? You can't do anything. You can't do nothing. You're at a standstill. You're stalled. Maybe to some degree, and on some things you are, but in other ways you're not. Like, I think that, I don't know. I don't know what the best solution here is. I think Kim needs to stay out of the media, stay offline, and really, like, she needs to take like a solid week. And her and Kroy need to sit down and really evaluate what they're doing here. Because I don't think that they even know what they're doing. I think they're just taking it week by week or day by day or story by story. Like, I don't know. Do they have like some sort of sponsorship deal with TMZ where they're like, we'll release a new tidbit of our story through you guys for X amount of dollars? I don't know. There's money being made there, let's be clear. But I don't understand what the point of it is. Because whatever money you're making from this is not putting a dent in your debt, clearly. Because by now, if you were making that much, you'd be almost out of your debts. And you guys could be just going to church and working on your marriage, but you're not. All right, so I think I've said enough of what I needed to say in regards to Miss Kim Zolciak and Kroy. We're going to take a quick break, and then we are going to jump in, and I'm going to give you guys what I know in terms of updates regarding Danielle and Jennifer Aydin situation. So we'll be right back. Golly Nutrition is an inventive, people-focused nutrition company committed to providing innovative products that make taking your daily supplements simple and delicious. Their products are formulated with quality ingredients you can pronounce and flavors your taste buds will absolutely enjoy. And at the core of it all, they lead with purpose. Golly for Good is an initiative committed to playing a profound role in supporting the health of our planet as well as our local communities. Learn more about their initiatives, such as B Corp certification, Vitamin Angels partnership, and Eden reforestation projects at their Golly for Good page. And if you use my special code, the Georgio says at checkout, you will receive a special discount. Now let's get back into the episode. All right, welcome back, guys. Thanks for sticking around. Like I said, today's episode is going to be pretty short and sweet. Not all too much going on in terms of updates. We do have Salt Lake City airing tonight, so look forward to a recap of that on the podcast tomorrow. But as far as the New Jersey drama that's been playing out, we did get some updates via Page 6 yesterday. We got a little bit more detail around what happened. I also listened to Zach Peter, who I guess some of his sources said that the fight, which I think I said this yesterday, the fight, people were telling me the fight was over something petty. They wouldn't tell me like what it was about exactly or what got everyone revved up or the two of those ladies revved up. But then Zach Peter mentioned on his channel or podcast rather that he had heard from his sources that it was over a hairstylist or like something to do with looks. Yeah, like the most petty thing. But that also Page 6 is reporting that I think some of the reports initially said that there was a drink, like a glass. And I said this yesterday. I felt like it was probably not glass, but maybe something like a harder acrylic plastic of some sort, which if it broke could break skin, let's be honest. But in the Page 6 report, it says that it was that Danielle had crumpled a plastic cup and it, you know, I guess when it struck Jennifer, it like probably like scraped or like obviously drew blood. Now, was she like bleeding? I don't think so. I think it was probably like a minor cut of some sort or like, you know, like you get a paper cut or something like that. I'm not downplaying the behavior. I'm just trying to give you guys the detail because, you know, initially it was like, oh, she threw a glass of a drink and, you know, everybody was running with these wild stories. But then when you look at Jennifer's post Tulum party drums. You don't really see anything visible in terms of any markings from any type of physical altercation. So it makes sense that it was probably a minor cut from the crumpled plastic cup. Listen, I said this yesterday. I don't know what show Danielle's on. I don't know what show we're trying to maneuver towards here, but this is not what I want to watch. And I'll keep saying that over and over again. I'm not interested in watching housewives put their hands on each other to get a point across. This is supposed to be about petty conflict and resolution with women that are in their own bubble and have a lot of privilege and resources at their disposal to have petty fights. But the point of it as well is to move on. And now it's going towards the, like, we've got to up the ante. So one of two things is happening. The divide between Teresa and Melissa is causing the cast to not have anything really going on. So that says a lot right there. And the ones that are being put to task to make it happen are going to such an extreme that it is causing now for both of them to be paused. And these new guidelines that NBC has put out, they're definitely going to make an example out of this, because then they can always point to it later and say, well, see how we handled that. But I think, I'm not sure where they're going to land here. Are they going to demote Danielle? Are they going to fire her? Are they going to fire Jennifer? Because Jennifer, from what I've heard, technically put her hands on Danielle first, even though she was pushing Danielle away because Danielle was in her personal space. Where do we fall there? I know a lot of you guys are not Jennifer Aydin fans. I'm not always Jennifer's biggest fan either. But if we're going to be technical about it, isn't someone getting into your personal space the first, no? Didn't we learn that with Kenya and Portia when she was being provoked over and over again? No, Kenya didn't put her hands on her first, but there is something to be said when someone continues to provoke someone. You're still in charge of your own behavior. You're still in charge of your own actions and how you handle things, but let's not take the responsibility away from those situations and those parties that do enter someone's personal space. So if, and I'm not saying this is how it went down, if Danielle did get into Jennifer's personal space and Jennifer pushed her back, then I don't think that counts as Jennifer making the first move. If Jennifer got in Danielle's face and then pushed her, then no, then it's Jennifer's fault, because Jennifer went in for it, got in her face, and then put her hands on her. But in my opinion, if this is how it plays out, where Danielle's in her face first, then the pushback is necessary, because it's to let the person know, that's your first warning, you got into my space. I don't think that should constitute, oh, well, she put her hands on her first. I mean, if you want to play the technical rules, fine, but I'm kind of looking at it from the wider lens of well, yeah, technically speaking, yeah, that if you're going to play those rules, yeah, technically she did put her hands on her first. But if we're looking at it from what I would like to say, the real picture, Danielle kind of went in for it. But that's a whole other conversation, and I definitely am open to hearing what you guys think. I mean, now we know it was a plastic crumpled cup, not glass, so that's that. Doesn't seem like it was a big injury. So now we just have to wait and see what they ultimately decide to do with Jennifer and Danielle. Will they continue for the remainder of the season? Where does this cast go from here? It's a little worrying, because it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on, and it seems like the cast is still pretty split down the middle. It's very visible on social media. So I don't know. But definitely let me know what you guys think about this, because in terms of the actual technicality, where do you guys stand on that? If Danielle got in her face, in her personal space, right, and Jennifer pushed her to get her out of her face, now she's getting close to intimidate, does that land Jennifer in the hot seat, or is it Danielle? I don't know. Let me know down below. But that's all I've got for you guys today, so I don't want to hold you guys up. Your time is just as valuable as mine and everyone else's, but I do appreciate you guys listening. But before I let you guys go, I do want to remind you of a few things. If you're not following me on TikTok and Instagram, I go there first with all my recaps and Bravo Celebrity News updates. So make sure you're following me at Georgio Says on TikTok and Instagram. And if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, that's okay. You can still subscribe, but just make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. And then if you're watching me on Spotify, hello, thank you so much. And if you're listening to me, wherever you're listening to me, thank you. If you feel obliged and you want to leave me a 5-star review, that would greatly help my podcast. So there's that. And I don't know, guys, I don't know what the weather's like where you guys are, but if there's sun where you are, enjoy it, because I've not seen the sun in what feels like a whole week. So hopefully the sun will come out tomorrow, is what Annie said, right? Anyways. All right, guys, I will definitely talk to you guys tomorrow. We have the Salt Lake City recap, and stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye.